Hey guys, Matthew Morrow, MorrowInvest.com. I want to bring you today's 2-minute tip of the day. When I was 18 years old, I went to 2 of my elders from our church. And these were wise men that I very much looked up to and still do today. I wanted to know what it was I was supposed to be doing. You know, I had a lot of energy. I had owned my own lawn service and was working and was making decent money. I was going to college to get a degree in business administration, and I was looking for direction like a lot of youth are. Well, one of my elders was an insurance salesman, and he had been a very good insurance salesman, made a lot of money, and was very well respected in the area. What was his advice? He said, well, Matthew, if you can do it, it's not bragging. Well, that actually spoke to my ego. And at the time, my ego was very high, and I knew how good I was, and I loved it. I loved that. Well, it's not bragging if you can do it. I loved it. The other elder, with the same amount of wisdom, he said, Matthew, whatever you decide to do, be humble, humble, humble. And he said it just like that. Matthew, and we'll say it again. Be humble, humble, humble. Well, I don't know the meaning of the word. As I went through my career to where I am now, I would definitely tell you, and you don't know me well enough to know, but me being humble, if you do not humble yourself, the world will gladly give you lessons on humility. So, I believe I've told this in another video, but I'll tell it to you again. At one point, I worked for a company. This was like a 1.5-year hiatus where I stopped working for myself. I started listening to all the world, which was telling me, Matthew, you need a good job with a 401k and benefits. You need to work for somebody. Well, that's because that's what everybody else does, right? And working for yourself isn't for everybody. That's why that's that 80-20 rule. We can talk about that at a different time. But I worked for this company, and I was flying through the place. I mean, I'm a good worker. I'm fairly knowledgeable. I have a good bit of common sense. I might not be a genius, but if you show me how to do something, I can repeat it. And so you better show me the right way, because that's the way I'm going to continue doing it. And I can also multitask. I can take on lots of different responsibilities. And also, because I had grown up in a catering company where we had lists of everything. We had loading list for the van. We had a certain list of criteria of a time frame of how that party that was supposed to be catered. We had list in the kitchen of, you have to time different things to cook. There might be one thing that just can be pre-made and just stuck in the oven for 15 minutes and heated up, and then there might be something else like a beef tenderloin that might take 12 hours to cook. So you have to, we had lists of how to time all those things. So for that reason, when I went in this company, I was doing really well because I thought like a business owner. I didn't think like an employee. And so I was self-motivated. I love tasks. If you gave me something to do, man, I would knock those tasks out, right? Well, that's good, but it's also bad. So what was happening was there were some people got fired actually, and I would take their job, and I didn't mean to, but there were some people that had been doing the same job for 5, 10, 15 years, and it was an easy job. And so, at least it was easy for me. And so I was fairly talented, and so I took several people's jobs, or they got moved to different locations. And so the problem was, though, is that along with all of this, I knew I was talented, and my ego was way up here. And I remember I thought that I was going to get another promotion. I actually got several promotions in a year, and I didn't get a promotion, and I got really upset about it. I was mad. It wasn't just disappointment. I wasn't disappointed. I was ticked that I didn't get that promotion, because I should have got that promotion. I'm working circles around the people around me. All right, I should get that. I go to tell my grandmother this, and my grandmother's a very wise lady, and she said she listened to me like she always does. And we were in her kitchen, and is a commercial kitchen, has these big 12-foot long steel countertops and these tables. And she said, "Son, can I ask you something?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she said, "You think you're better than those people, don't you?" And I remember with my fist, I slammed my fist down on the table and I said, "I am better." And I knew it. About 2 weeks later, I got fired. Now, how is the guy that is just flying through the place, getting promotions, how did I get fired? Well, there's lots of reasons for that. But I promise you that one of the reasons why is because I was arrogant. I then went and worked for another company, and I got let go from that company for completely different reasons. So I got fired twice in 6 months. Well, unless you're not good at introspective self, you need to be able to look into yourself and say, maybe I'm part of the problem. So we had what's called a come to Jesus meeting. That's what we call it here in the South. A come to Jesus meeting where I had to truly evaluate myself to say, these are different companies, but yet I had the same result. Is it me? And you know what? It was me. And I am so thankful that I got fired. I'm so thankful that I got fired again. It took twice. I'm a little hard-headed. The Lord has a way of sending you blessings. And me getting fired twice was a great blessing because it set me on another path back to working for myself where I could use my talents to the fullest. Here's the thing though. All good things that are given to me, all talents that I may or may not have, they're all because God blesses me with those. And I give Him full credit for those. There is nothing that I do that is my own power, it's God's power. Now some of you might not identify with that. Some of you might not give your talent to the Lord. And you might say, well, Matthew's given his talents up to some invisible. Aren't you the one that did the work? Aren't you? Well, yeah, but like we've talked about before, would Michael Jordan be Michael Jordan if he had not put in the work? Well, yes, he was blessed with the talent, but had he not done the work, he wouldn't have cultivated that talent. So any farmer knows that if we plant rows of crops and we get everything ready, get our farm ready, it is God that blesses you with the rain and the increase. So yes, you should do the work, but the blessings come from the Lord. So I tell you to be humble and know where your blessings are coming from. You're going to be a lot happier, and you know what? It takes the burden off of you, and it allows you to be humble. It really does. I might not, some people might not perceive me as humble, but I guarantee you, if you ask me where my blessings come from, I in no way will ever tell you it's because Matthew Morrow is so awesome. I'll tell you it's because God is awesome. I hope this blesses you guys. Have a great day.